Hello. Welcome back to the bog. I'm Willow, and I'll be your guiding light. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Menace, a turn-based tactical RPG that just came out on Steam. In Menace, we'll be taking command of Marines in space. Read, not Space Marines, sorry Warhammer, and leading them through a harrowing campaign in the far reaches of space. So far, it looks pretty promising, and I've got high hopes, especially as Menace was developed by Overhyped Studios, the team behind one of my favorite games, Battle Brothers, and it was published by Hooded Horse, who you may know from games like Manor Lords, Xenonauts 2, Against the Storm, or Nine Kings. Menace is supposed to take a lot from Battle Brothers, which is unsurprising given the shared dev teams behind them, and also games like XCOM with its soldier squads and pseudo sci-fi technology. I've got hundreds of hours in both of those games, so hopefully that'll give me a leg up on playing this one. I've done my best to avoid spoilers on the game, or really any information not available on the Steam store page, so we'll be going on a journey of discovery together, which, if I know anything from playing Battle Brothers, will probably involve discovering different ways to get my poor squaddies killed. With that, let's kick off Menace with the opening cutscene. Oh my god. Alright, I have a lot of questions. I don't I don't think anybody won that fight. But we've got like heavy armored plasma gun guy, we've got a lot of different soldiers, something in the goop trying to eat us, and big scary robots. So off to a fantastic start. This is Menace. We're gonna get started with the tutorial. My general approach is I try and follow the tutorials as to the letter as I can to find out what the developers like exactly want me to know, and then once I start an actual new game, I'll go through and read all the tooltips and get into a ton of information. So here we go. Oh, I love this loading
A
screen
welcome
already.
return to the combat simulator, General Crozier. For TCRC2 network analysis, the Wayback will present us with very unique challenges. The combat simulator has been updated accordingly. SL
Alright.
status members lead infantry squads or pilot hardware. These are the most valuable units in the C2 hierarchy and are the spear tip of the TCR Marines.
Okay, so the SL is squad leader, I think, and that covers the people in charge of the squads. TCR Marines are faction as a whole, and then I believe we're Commander Crozier. Select your squad leader. Okay, so we can hit tab, or can I just left
To
click?
maximize
Yeah.
combat efficiency, you have total C2 authority.
Nice.
Morale permitting, SL status units will move and shoot as you command.
Classic tactical RPG. Can move around the map. Alright, click twice to move. We got Hayflick talking to us. No idea who she is yet.
Before you get into any firefight, you should carefully survey the battlefield and look for routes dominated by cover.
Okay.
If cover is unavailable, Look to the use of smoke grenades, pre-bombardments, and other tools to keep your units safe.
Oh, I like that. One of the biggest gripes I run into in games like XCOM is you're really hoping there's pre-made cover where you want it to be, and if there isn't, you're SOL. So the idea that there's effective use of smoke screens and bombardments to help with that is really intriguing.
Yeah.
Center. Ooh.
Nothing will keep your units safer
Where do they
than
come from?
killing the very enemies that wish them dead.
Okay, shoot the enemy, we can hit one. Ah, down here, okay. That's a lot of info. Okay,
The
being out
human
of cover is
body
bad.
can be durable and resistant to TCR enforcement. The human mind, however, is often weak and
All right,
easily
I feel like-
manipulated. Suppressing enemies is vital to maximizing combat
Ooh,
efficiency.
they're way out there. Deploy, crouch your squad, they can use their special weapon. Press X.
Killing an enemy and
Nice.
breaking their spirit is often a difference without a distinction.
Oh, do we have good morale stuff? Okay, so a lot of games like to have soldiers just like fight to the death randomly, but this implies there's a strong morale system. Alright, machine gun, much longer range. Do that.
Take care.
Oh!
Expenses prevent wide usage of plat
Uh.
armor, leaving squad elements far from fire. If your units take too much damage,
Oh,
they
there we
may
go.
resolve to break C2 and preserve themselves. But a Marine never leaves another Marine behind. Once relocated, SL status units will always resume the fight. The Impetus comes equipped with an array of suborbital weaponry
Ooh.
to complement our ground forces. Rex 2, our module-based weapons platform and delivery system, will handle all the finer details. You simply need to provide the instruction. Feel free to put one to use now.
Okay, so getting flank shot at, not good. What happened to them? They're just learning all the pieces. Use the unguided missile strike.
Majorly expensive and massively effective, consider these tools to be the spear tip of TCR might,
I don't know.
but allocate these resources wisely. Rex 2 is constrained by the economy of force. Overuse of strategic weaponry
okay.
too early in a campaign might leave one vulnerable on the backstretch when they need those weapons most.
Classic, we have limited use things to get us out of a sticky situation. And
Fire mission underway.
When you combine all available assets and abilities to maximize combat
we
efficiency,
flattened.
very little can stand in the way of the TCR
that.
Marines. Service is always an act of valor, General. Most excellent
Is that the end of the
results,
tutorial?
and excellent timing as well. The
Incredible.
warp exit is opened, and we are prepped for netting. The way back awaits.
Alright. Missions, that's the end of the tutorial. New game. Alright, so my general approach to games like this is I like being challenged. I don't like just being able to click through. That's not something that I find enjoyment with. However, I do find a lot of games, especially games I don't know that well, the highest difficulties can often be really grindy or really frustrating, and I don't like having to resort to niche strategies or exploits, or I like to be able to actually engage with the game, and so I generally want to pick something like challenging here, where it's a step up from the base difficulty, but it's not all the way up, so that I still have the ability to try out new things, and I'm not shoehorned into using the best strategy or the best people. Random seed, Iron Man, I am not gonna Iron Man anything, because I don't like losing campaigns to bugs, glitches, or save loss. So my general approach to this is I'm not gonna reload unless I die horribly for bad choices, and it's not interesting if we keep going. I'm gonna try and push through any losses. Losses are common in games like this. If we die early on, I'll try again. If we die later on, I might just reload a save so we don't lose a ton of time. But here we go. I love me some analog though. This is kind of the pseudo sci-fi vibe I was talking about, where it's like we've talked about like warps and netting, and there's like space travel implied, but we're using ballistic weapons, and this is like some 20th century technology vibe, so not sure what our setting is exactly.
Straight into detected.
Uh-oh.
Straight.
So TCR detects our ship. We know that what a TCR means.
Detected.
Something like that. Very wrong. 100%. I like that. Nope. 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 Redacted. Don't redact my success chance. I don't like that. Remember, Marine. Service is always an act of valor. Are we the bad guys? That's the kind of thing bad guys would say. No, thank you.
If he is all we have left, then he is all we have left. Bring him in. Major, I am First Lieutenant Hayflick, Lead Intelligence Officer for the Wayback Mission.
Hello, Hayflick.
To be blunt, the Impetus suffered a distracting accident coming out of the gate. Survivors are in the minority. You, Major, are now the acting commander for the mission. A seltzer and easing tablet are on the table if you need it.
I was expecting a General Crozier, but your little secretary has already informed me you experienced a bit of a hiccup coming through the warp. The entire command staff killed, was it? Condolences. But as terrible as your losses might be, I wish to remind you that your residence here did not come cheap for me either.
Immediately.
Your expense has been in lives, mine in political capital. About time you core welders almost made even on your trades. If I may give you one recommendation, TCR Marine, do try and make good with the neighborhood. But while you learn to dance with these factions and fools, be sure not to step on too many toes. We are not your beloved core worlds. There are only so many mistakes one can make in a system, absent of second chances. But, you know, welcome to the way.
The comms team is new and was unaware of alert procedures before patching someone through. However, that was indeed Field Marshal Zama, leader of the planetary Jingwei.
Don't like him.
We are not to interfere with their operations. More on the relationship between the core worlds and the Wayback can be found in the Impedia. For now, let's get you acquainted with the strategic map.
Here we go. Ooh. Okay. So, I know a little bit about this from the demo, and we saw this in the tutorial. We have little squads of soldiers, and they're all led by an SL member or a squad leader. It looks like we get to pick 4 of them. Darby, Lim, Pike, Bog, Rewa, Carta, Tech, and Achilles. I recognize some of these from the demo, but I didn't do much with them. Pike, I recognize from the tutorial, so gonna go with him.
Service is always an act of valor, Major.
Darby and
Eyes
Lim,
open.
I know from
Nox
the
landed.
demo, so I'm gonna
About
go with
time
them.
you got me in there, Major.
And then, as you can see, each of them has a little icon at the bottom. These 3, the ones I've selected so far, are all infantry squads, and Rewa is a vehicle driver, as indicated by the little tank here. And so I want to have at least one of those, because from some of the descriptions we've got so far and like the opening sequence, it seems like being able to have heavy weapon fire to cover your advance is important.
SRU final testing Eyes open.
We've got action points, accuracy, discipline, damage reduction, hit points, critical chance, defense, promotion tax, growth potential, and supply cost. That is, oh, we also have attributes. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Right now, we're just going to select the people, and once we actually get into some gameplay, because that doesn't look good to me, extended stuff right here. Alright, we've got strategic resources, which I assume are different things we spend stuff on. System map lets us find our next operation. and manage our relationships. That's very classic. We probably get to pick from different missions, and we have different factions that will specialize in different things. Almost certainly our relationship with them is going to be mutually exclusive. Operational capacity improvements. Let's us upgrade TCRN Impetus, which I assume is our ship. That is the implication we've had so far, and we saw our ship get absolutely mauled. Though I still want to know what attacked us. Squad management, classic, lets us actually interact with our soldiers. Black market, I think, is the shop. And then squad leaders seem to be in a different category where they're different from ordinary soldiers. Faction trust, how much the different factions like us. Awesome. Welcome to the Wayback, Major. After a century of being cut off from the core worlds, it's time to bring the system back into the fold. The planetary Jingwei, our host and the local governing authority, has lost its iron grip over the system, providing us with a unique opportunity. Our mission: build relations with the local factions, keep an eye on the planetary Jingwei, and secure control over the system for the Terran Congressional Republic. TCR, Terran Congressional Republic. So we are the bad guys, but looks like most people are bad guys. I already don't like planetary Jingwei because their main guy was basically like, sucks to suck. You lost 85% of your people, but that was inconvenient for me, so I don't like it. Comms and updates, that's going to be important to keep up on. Example operation. We get the length, who wants us to do the mission, and our expected rewards, how long we have left. Okay, yeah, that's classic for this style of game where missions, you can't do all of them generally. If we go back to our thing, we only have one mission so far, so it doesn't look like it's going to be an issue yet. But we'll often have, in a game like this, I wouldn't be surprised to have like 5 missions counting down at once and not all of them available. So right now I'm just going to go through, try and gather some information because I really don't know what's going on. Dice of the Gods is a snowscape planet, a massive ice-covered planet rotating in opposition to the rest of the solar system, completely inhospitable to humans in their natural state. Awesome. I love that for us. That place is going to be great. Slow movement, bad sight lines, but okay. Mock. A barren desert. Man, this place sucks. The Wayback's smallest planet and nearest to its star, the intense heat formed a world of barren deserts, canyons, and mesas. Sand dunes shift across its surface, and sandstorms bury everything under dust in an instant. Great. More terrible environmental things. The Backbone. Temperate forest. See, I like temperate forest. Nothing's going wrong in a temperate forest. Temperate, hospitable, and resource-rich, this Earth-like planet drew the first colonists toward Way 9352, which I guess is the Wayback. Interestingly enough, Backbone is owned by, just the Backbone, Zhao Zhao, seeing themselves as the true leaders of the true rulers of the system. The Unbent have turned their bountiful Earth-like planet into a massive military-industrial complex. Wonderful. The notion of ulterior motives does not enter our analysis of them whatsoever. Despite their thorny exterior, they are very forward about their intentions of one day ruling the Wayback. Rulers of the Backbone come to power via a complicated election process wherein candidates must sacrifice a piece of themselves physically. This ensures they are all in for fulfilling the role, and also that they do the best for the very constituents their crippled bodies must now depend on. Is that why this person's got, like, robotic limbs? Alright, so that's terrifying. Wow, okay. So they want to take over things, their military-industrial complex, and look, I do understand the appeal of, like, making your political leaders, do things to prove they're in it for the right reasons, but I'm terrified. Okay, lots of things. That all requires way more of this than I have. OCI components used to buy operational capacity improvements for your ship. These are all way more than I have, so I'm not going to deal with that right now. Dice of the Gods. Frankie. A shadow group of criminals run DICE, maintaining a front of tourism and gambling on an otherwise inhospitable snow planet. Intel analysis finds strong influences of criminal elements. Wow. Such that the society is essentially lawless the moment you step away from a heat source. Frankie Celestio, I'm going to pronounce so many of these names wrong, is the face for the shadowy benefactors who operate much of the planet's gambling and tourism hotspots. Incredible. The Zion Beecher Corps, the board. Although dwarfed by even its smallest peers in the greater core worlds, Zayn Beecher is the biggest megacorp in the Wayback. Having contracts with almost every faction in the system, ZB has spun a delicate web of interest and financial ties to ensure their fingers are in as many pies as possible. Great. Intel has been unable to locate the heads of ZB Megacorp just as well. Any assessment of them is somewhat dependent upon, well, the company's product. Given the nature of their product line, we can assume they are driven by a mixture of scientism and commercialism. Alright, so another classic for these systems. Everybody sucks. Incredible. We got some messages from Hayflick.
The black market is run by a man simply known as Manadar the Monitor. You make an agreement, and he arranges the pickups. Ordinarily, it would be unacceptable for a TCR vassal to conduct such business, but given the state of the impetus, we will have to bend some rules to survive. Of what use is a law if following it leaves no one alive to follow it, right? Strangely enough, Intel has been completely unable to locate the Monitor's actual position, though it may be the case that someone in the Wayback knows.
Or Hayflick. You're doing great, Hayflick. Ooh. Due to the planetary Jingwei's decay, Waybacks no longer have faith in fiat currencies. A barter economy has returned to the Wayback, one which you will have to engage with to arm and equip your soldiers. Oh, so we got no money, we just have things. Yes, we have the OCI components. Oh, that is a huge dex block. Alright, here we go. Authority represents your ability as commanding officer of the TCRN in impetus to keep order and discipline on board your ship. At lower levels of authority, negative events like accidents and brawls between characters become more frequent, whereas with higher levels of authority, they become more rare. On the battlefield, the discipline attribute of characters is modified between -20 at 0 authority and +20 at 100 authority, influencing how well squads recover from being suppressed and how quickly their morale fails. You gain authority by successfully completing operations with a 4-star rating or higher, and you can both gain and spend authority with the choices you make in events. Alright. Interesting. So this is the kind of thing that I'm guessing spending it will give us short-term benefits, but there are long-term consequences to letting your authority dwindle. And so how much I spend this will really depend on what the trade-offs are. And how bad morale is by default. Promotion points are used to promote any of your leaders in rank. Ooh, allowing you to pick additional perks for them. The higher leaders rank, the more promotion points their next promotion costs. Promotion points are earned by completing missions. So we get these for completing missions. Well, the OCI components and promotion points are just completing missions. And interestingly, for a lot of games like this, experience is very single character. In the previous game, Battle Brothers, experience is very much on the character who earns it, only usable on them. If they catch a bad hit and die, that's it, they're gone, back to square one. It's really interesting for this, where you can bank them and you can have fewer higher level people by putting more promotions into a small number of SL units, or you can have a wider number of lower level people. Squaddies! So squaddies are in my heart from XCOM. Their job is to die horribly for the cause. Squaddies are the elements assigned to a squad. Each squad can take up to 8 squaddies. Each squaddie adds their hit points to the squad's hit point total and their armor durability to the armor durability total. Squaddies are persistent and can be renamed. They will die permanently if killed in combat. Alright, so right off the bat, leave me a comment if you would like to be named after a squaddie. I make no promises for how long you live, but keep track of how long you live. See if you can get the highest. And I'll give you a new one if you die. Don't worry. When you die. Got another message from Hayflick.
Major, Intel has something for you.
Major, per TCR reunification H&M protocol, mouthful, unselected Marines have been deployed on community outreach initiatives. Of course, we can always countermand those orders if need be. However, as part of the Wayback mission, Clause 9 of the Expeditionary Force Act has been activated, opening our roster to reinforcement outside of normal TCR guidelines. These are individuals assessed to be SL status worthy.
Service is always an act of valor, Major.
The question of hiring Waybackers versus retrieving our Marines is what I leave to you, Major. SLs can be found via purchasing incel dossiers in the black market. Alright, so that tracks from their history in Battle Brothers, where there are different types of people you can recruit. My guess is the Marines are going to be more expensive and more powerful to start with, whereas the Waybackers are going to be cheaper but going to require a little bit more work. And that tracks with what they did in Battle Brothers, where you could hire a farmer for pretty cheap, but you know, they were a farmer. They weren't the most combat applicable. Or you could hire like an exiled knight, and he came with a lot more gear and skills. We're going to quickly go through our different tabs, and then we'll get into the mission. OCI. PCR impetus is not looking hot. We have no weapons, no hull, no electronics. We have a med bay, with a damaged medical bay. Damaged in the disc straightening event. Do I make a joke about that? Maybe not. This ad hoc triage center can still provide medical treatment for the time being. 1 squad mate's revived per mission with a 15% chance to revive each subsequent casualty. Okay, so each squad can have 1 person survive being shot in the head. 15% chance is not good. Okay, so anyone who goes down is dead as far as I'm concerned. Our ship looks great. I too like going through my day with multiple burning holes in my side. Squads. These are the people we started out with. This I'll probably spend the most time on, so I will come back to this in a bit. Black market. Items I own. Oh Lord. Okay, so we're cooking with napalm right off the bat. How about hiring? No one I can hire. Awesome. I love that. That makes me feel so much better. System map. Let's take a look at this mission, and then we'll get into things. Dice of the Gods. Snowscape. It's an alien infestation. We get plus 16 relationship with Dice of the Gods. I'm not sure how high this trust level goes. These can't be 1 each. They're probably 10 each? No, 100 each? We'll see how long the game is. But if we click on the mission, what happens? Ooh, here we go. On Dice of the Gods. Alien infestation. Local wildlife has grown into a serious infestation. Head down to the planet and smoke them out, but be warned, biosensors show large swarms roaming the surface. Affairs to see to, Marine. Business affairs, that is. Unless... No. Business only still. Are you flirting with me? No. We are not flirting on the first mission. Tundra Ice Casinos. Yes, those are biomes that I know. The Tundra biome, the Ice biome, and the Casino biome. As we click Start Operation. Alright, so things have already happened. We got +2 relationship just for starting this mission, which I think is really interesting. And it looks like we still have access to things. 2 skull difficulty, I have no idea how many skulls that go to. And 630, that is a classic icon for supplies. So, money? But so there wasn't money, so curious about this. We have to secure the critical infrastructure by moving units close to it and maintaining proximity until it's captured. Hold the point. Awesome. Multiple units speeds up the capture process. That's in the reclaimed settlement, and then we'll have a split later on before a final finish. Our rewards will be settlement reclamation projects. Many abandoned colonies litter the Wayback's planets. However, abandoned does not mean unusable. Securing such sites can open throughputs for our ad hoc space wharfs, providing easier touch and goes for our inventory teams. Upon completion, gain 15% more OCI points for this operation. Ooh. Okay. And so we gotta complete the mission quickly. If we complete it within... this is probably the stars. There are 5 of these, and 4 stars, most but not all. So if we complete the mission within 14 rounds, we get 1 star. 10 rounds is 2, so completing it quickly is very good. Destroy more than 7% of all enemy forces. That makes sense as a goal because from this description, we win if we secure everything. Whether or not there are enemies remaining seems unimportant. Destroy no more than 3 structures. Okay, Dr. Valen. Shout out to XCOM. Explosives are dangerous. I don't know what breaks structures. I assume explosives do, and maybe like heavy weapons from a tank or something. So try not to like drive over somebody's house. But I don't think there are, you know, random houses in this area. And complete the mission without losing a squad or a vehicle. I'm gonna just say we're gonna do that one, because if we don't do that one, I will cry. We can abort I assume if we come in here and we see stuff we don't like, we can bail, but I'm sure that will not make our friends happy. Yeah, so nothing to do with the ship. Alright, so we can actually look at our squads, and if you don't care about all this, there will be a way to skip ahead, but I'm going to go through because I don't know what any of these things mean. Lance Corporal, Classic, Low Rank, Military Rank. We've got a custom icon for each of them. And interestingly enough, it does not look like I have a way to rename these people. So we got Jane Darby, the 103rd Recon Black Sleeves. Nice and edgy. Charles Lim of the 81st Astral Assault. You're totally going to get in there. Edwin Pike of the 1st Spaceborne Regiment. Classic Soldier Man. And we got Lance Corporal. We got Renu Rewa. Oh man. Skill Retention Unit. Vehicle Driver. Nice. Alright, so action points. Action points, AP, are spent for every action, like moving or using a skill. Once all points are spent, the current unit's turn ends automatically. They're fully replenished each turn. So interestingly, some games will split movement and attack actions into separate things. This does not seem to do that. There's no indication that I won't be able to just like shoot as much as possible, which, given what I know about this game, does kind of track. If somebody is deployed behind cover, laying down fire, they can probably do that a lot more than someone who's hoofing it across a field. As you can see, we've got Darby in the middle, and we've got Siren, Ombre, Mama, and Frank. They love having their little nicknames. Who are the squaddies with her right now? Squad type, infantry. Yeah, they're all infantry, and then you're a vehicle. I'm not going to put unequipped squads. I don't know what that does. Squaddies, manpower. Up to 8 squaddies can be added to each squad leader. They take additional armor and weapons, hit point pool. So you add more squaddies. Squaddies do more things. This makes sense. I assume that I have, yeah, so 4 squaddies, 4 squaddies, 4 squaddies. I have 32 squaddies, so right off the bat, it's just like, yeah, get them all up to 8, because there doesn't seem to be a reason to not bring 24 out of 32. You don't get squaddies because you're just in a tank. Accuracy, because I got entirely distracted. Determines the chance to hit a target without any modifiers like distance or cover. Oh boy. This is less punishing than I think in other games because each one of the soldiers in the squad took a shot during the tutorial. And so every one of them's got an 80% chance to hit rather than a single shot. And so it's much more likely to deal 80% of the weapon's damage for a single fire than it is to, like in a game like XCOM or Battle Brothers, where a lot of characters make single attacks. 80% hit chance mostly does a lot of damage, but sometimes does 0. Discipline, the general discipline and cohesion of a unit. Reduces the amount of suppression suffered from an attack, and determines how easily a unit will break morale and waver or flee. Okay, higher discipline, you can take more shots. Lower discipline, not so much. Damage reduction. Modifies any damage the unit suffers. This can be negative, wherein the unit suffers more damage, or positive, wherein the unit suffers less damage. I'm assuming heavy armor like that guy in the intro who was in that big armor suit charging in through the bullets took an RPG to take him out. So I'm not surprised that my, basic infantry don't have DR. DR is damage reduction. Hit points. Hit points represent the damage unit can take before being destroyed. What a wonderful way to refer to people. Once these reach 0, the unit is considered dead or destroyed. Yeah, so with 8 squaddies, she should have 72 health, 1 for her and 8 for her, and then 64 for the squaddies. I'm really curious if, like, if she takes 8 damage from a single hit, if one person dies right off the bat, or what happens with that. Critical chance gives the chance to score a critical hit for 50% more damage. The chance is calculated for each individual attack element. Okay, so you have a 5% crit chance per bullet. So if your spray, if it's 2 shots per person, there are 9 people, you have 18 shots, one of them is probably going to crit. Defense. Defense is subtracted from any enemy accuracy that attacks this unit. Okay, yeah, so higher defense makes it harder to be hit, but it seems like not being hit is not important for being suppressed. Getting shot at is bad for your morale. Promotion tax. The supply point cost of this unit is increased cumulatively by the promotion tax for every promotion it's awarded. No idea what any of those words mean. Growth potential. The chance of increasing a stat every time a unit takes an associated action. For example, hitting an enemy has a chance to permanently increase accuracy. Oh, okay, so having a higher growth potential leads you to increasing faster. So increasing stat seems to be separate from increasing your actual level. Supply cost. When supply is a cost to deploy this unit to a mission. Total cost of the unit is further increased by other factors like promotion tax and equipment costs. Okay, so the promotion tax is 15 extra supply cost for each person. Ooh. That's probably what this is. We probably are allocated 630 supplies to deploy people as a way of stopping me from just bringing everything every time. Yeah, because you can see that the C1A2 SPC carbine costs 63. We'll get into that. Looks like there are 8 ranks total. Her starting perk, high value targets. Jane Darby. Oh, this is hateful. Jane Darby is a rare, full ace graduate of the Pathfinder School. Her skills at identifying and taking out high priority targets is virtually without parallel. Darby's attacks disable enemy special weapons for 1 turn. Okay, so if we can just clip like an enemy, I don't know what a special weapon is, like an RPG or something, they can't shoot us. That's awesome. Other stats. Armor. The effective armor is matched against the penetration of incoming attacks. The higher the armor and the lower the penetration, the more likely an attack will be stopped and do no hit point damage. Stopped attacks will still damage armor durability, potentially weakening it against future attacks. Yeah, okay, so low penetration against high armor, not good, but if you need to, you can just keep laying down fire. But again, that doesn't mention anything about stopping panic. So again, if you have high armor, you probably also need high discipline. Detection. The ability to spot concealed units on the battlefield. Reduce an enemy unit's concealment when calculating whether it is visible to this unit or not. Okay, so this is higher. We see things from farther away. Concealment. I'm guessing it's the other way around. The ability to stay hidden from enemy sight even when within their view range. Each point of concealment reduces the effective view range of enemies against this unit by 1. Okay, and so detection and concealment cancel out. Vision range, or view range, determines how many tiles a unit can see on the battlefield. This is the distance over which the fog of war is lifted and enemy units are revealed. Concealment can hide enemies even when inside the view range. Yeah, so fog of war is something used in a lot of these games where I can only see detailed information on area that my soldiers currently have within vision, and often I will have reduced information about places we have seen before but can't currently. Often, like, the terrain of an area will get revealed the first time you see it, and you'll be able to see enemies in it as long as you can actually have sight on it. So she's pretty good at spotting things. She won't ever see anyone past 9 range, but she reduces that, though I'm not sure how it compares to other people. Before we get into all the other gear stuff, we're going to compare with the other soldiers. Let's look at Charles Lim. Okay, these stats stay the same across all of them. But you notice right off the bat, he's got less action points and way less accuracy. He's got a 15 accuracy malice compared to her, and has less action points, but you can see that he's got 5% DR and 10 hit points. So he takes a little bit less damage, and he's got a little bit more health, but he's got no crit chance and lower defense. So he's less good at shooting things, but he is meaningfully more tanky. 90 health versus 72 is a big difference. You could also see that he's so much cheaper. He costs half as much, and he costs less per additional rank, and he has more growth potential. So this guy is not good right now, but we have some hope for him, and he seems like he can take a few hits without immediately collapsing, and he's pretty cheap to deploy. His ability is Aspiring. Lim is looking to rise through the ranks as quickly as possible. Unlike most, he also has the acumen to fit the ambition. So he's a 30% discount to promotions. Yeah, okay, that tracks with his growth potential. This is someone that I can pump value into, but off the bat, he's going to be a little bit of dead weight. Then we got Edwin Pike. Yeah, so he's got lower action points and lower accuracy than Jane Darby does, but he's got more discipline, and he's got that increased health that Charles Lim does. He's got no defense and low crit chance, and so he's the most likely to be shot at, but he's also the least likely to break. He, like Lim, is incredibly cheap to deploy, but oh boy, he's not going to get better. Aha! A truly cohesive unit will learn to take orders from their peers, not just from those further up the chain of command. So this is taking command, plus 40 action points to a friendly unit within 6 tiles. If the targeted unit has already completed a turn, they can go again. If not, they will start with plus 40 action points to their base AP amount, and it will not end his turn. Okay, so he can give action points to other people while he's taking fire and generally being a rock for us. Sick. And then you have funky stats because you're in a vehicle. Reba's latent PTSD should see the pilot forwarded to a clinician immediately. However, for now, the way back will have to be her therapist. Whoa, okay. So she's had some bad stuff happen to her. She gets plus 6% accuracy and discipline for each enemy unit destroyed, stacks up to 5 times. Oh boy, alright, so you got issues, so man. So she's gonna get better as a fight goes on. I'm not sure if that's destroyed by our team as a whole or destroyed by her specifically. Back up to here, we have infantry weapon. We've got a carbine with lots of information. Infantry special, infantry armor. What is this? Accessory. Okay. Yeah, we got 1 accessory, 1 special, 9 main. We only get 1 special, which I assume is carried by one of the people in the squad, either a random one or by the squad leader themselves. Doesn't look like I have any. I also only have carbines, it looks like. Awesome, and then, yeah, only have RMC fatigues, and then I've got magazine pouches. Magazine pouches provide an additional 50% uses for all squad weapons. Okay. Looks like I have 3 of those? Yeah. And then they make us a little bit more expensive to deploy. Awesome. If I look at the market, yeah, I can see that. Ooh. Go back to my squads. Breos, we do actually have a vehicle for you. Ooh, a light troop carrier. Ah! A light tank used to quickly ferry squads across the battlefield, also referred to as a battle taxi. Okay, so this is one of the ways I think we're supposed to get people between cover, is you can see in the stats, it says 250 hit points at 125 armor. Wow. That's a lot. This means that anything that doesn't have high penetration isn't going to do anything to her, and she's got a ton of health, and so we can stick people, I'm guessing, in the light troop carrier to get them across. Modular heavy weapon, don't have that. Modular light weapon, CMG 50 MMG. Oh, I'm guessing that means it's a 50 cal. 50 cals are really offensive to people. You get hit by one of those and you are being scraped off a wall. Cater Corner, being specialized in reliable fire support solutions, developed the CMG-50 to fill the medium machine gun slot of basic infantry squads and vehicles alike. Sturdy, reliable, and packs a punch, but the accuracy and ammo capacity are not the best. Can I... oh, that unequipped it. Can I look at what these numbers mean? Okay, it's a vehicle weapon. that makes sense. Projectile, I assume, covers anything that fires an actual object, like ballistic weapons that shoot bullets. From the intro cutscene, those like blue plasma laser-looking guns might not be considered projectile. Or if we were hearing about alien and life forms, they might have teeth and claws that are melee. Flexible, no idea what that means. Suppressive, I assume, makes it really good at, lowering people's discipline, which makes sense. It's a big, heavy weapon. It's not going to pinpoint target, but it will make people very sad. Yeah, fire a sweeping salvo at a target area to suppress the enemy. We've got a -20 accuracy modifier, but you can see that 16 hit point damage, armor damage of 7. So my guys with 10 armor and 10 hit points probably get one shot by a bullet from this. Yeah, armor penetration 40. So being hit by it does 7 damage to your armor, but it also penetrates 40 armor. So this hits a squaddie, they're gone. Applies 11 suppression and has a 12 rate of fire. My guess is rate of fire is how many shots it puts down range. So, oh boy, even with that -20 accuracy modifier to her base accuracy of 70, 50-50 on 12 shots. If you're taking standard odds on an open field, this kills 6 out of a squad of 9, which is kind of terrifying. And you can see at the bottom the accuracy and the hit point damage, and so it seems like being too close to an enemy makes the accuracy worse. So the ideal range for this is 4 tiles, but the damage it deals goes down as you get farther away, as his damage fall off. Okay, interesting. Do you carry items? We have no items for you. Oh, carbine time. C1A2 SPC, the standard semi-automatic service rifle used by most local forces. This metal-stamped carbine is produced by Hatchet et Marteau Machinery Company. Oh, that's a long name. H&M Machinery Company. Maybe? Who knows? And is extremely cheap to assemble, reliable, and easy to maintain. Alright, so it's kind of like our version of a Kalashnikov. It's long-range, projectile, and accurate. Alright, so accurate, I'm assuming, makes it hit better. Projectile we've seen before, and then long range, it probably handles long ranges better. 2 shots fired from the carbine, decent overall distances, but 4 damage and armor penetration. You can see that it does 9 hit point damage, 10 armor damage, has 25 armor pen, which again, still at close range, if you're not in the damage fall off, as you can see at the bottom, this probably still just wipes people. But you can see it has suppression 2, which is so much lower than our big gun. Yeah, so being shot at by this, even if all members of her squad fire, that's 18 shots with a suppression of 2 for a total of 36 suppression. If my math is right, this suppresses for 132. So we're like, if all 3 of my squads with carbines fire at something that will suppress them less, then Rewa just unloading the machine gun at them. So that's good to know. My guess is the pips underneath are how many shots it has. Maybe I can see that if I add this. No, under. RMC fatigues. By 10 armor, they have 25 durability, and they give us 1 slot. Yeah, so being shot at is going to be very bad for our health. I'm going to quickly look at the black market. I don't know a ton, but I'd like to see. There seem to be a lot going on here, and maybe I can grab a couple of things and improve. Though I'm not sure how much money I have. Oh, it's the barter system, right? So if I click on just like a random item, I would have to trade items exactly. Okay, so I can't buy anything. We are carbines and a dream. Understood. All right, we're giving everyone some ammo pouches because I'd rather use it than not. There seems to be no consequence. Rewa's got her tank all lined up. All right, let's plan this mission. All right, start of the mission. We've got a whole bunch of information. It's the here we go. Our operational capacities will remain somewhat limited at first, but careful planning before making landfall will ensure mission success. I've compiled the most critical aspects of the process from our old training modules here. Over from the left, we've got environmental considerations. If we have poor weather or poor light conditions, accuracy, detection, and concealment can be affected. That makes sense. If it's raining, it's harder to hit things, harder to see them. If it's a nice clear day, it's probably pretty hard to hide. Primary and secondary objectives. I went through these before. Primary objectives, how we win the mission. Secondary objectives are gravy. Unknown entities and intelligence level. I have a very high intelligence level. Once you acquire intel as mission rewards or through OCI upgrades, entities on the battlefield will be identified for mission planning. More intel provides more information. Awesome. So there's a reward to learning about things ahead of time. Love that. Squad deployment. Click and drag on squad icons to determine deployment location. Oh, okay. One of my biggest pet peeves in games like these is getting just fixed deployed. I don't mind having an area, but many games, XCOM was incredibly guilty of this. You just enter the mission with characters placed, and depending on how cluttered your mission is and how quickly you have enemy contact, it can be really frustrating to deploy with like your sniper who can't move and shoot not standing in cover and there's enemies right off the bat. So being able to do that is incredible. I like that we can see a little bit of information ahead of time. Add, remove, select squad from the mission. Makes sense. We got the squaddies. We looked at that before. Yeah, more squaddies has more health, more damage, costs more to deploy. They have a primary weapon. Yeah, I was right. That's how many times it can be used. My assumption is because they only carry so much ammo, and so if you run out of ammo, oh boy, rest in peace. Supply cost, yeah. Size of the squad, so it will be multiplied. So a 35 carbine times 9 is like 315. So depending on how much resource we have for this mission, I may need to do some shenanigans. Special weapon, it is carried by the squad leader instead of the primary weapon. Okay, so you get less of your main weapon if you do that. Supplies, utilized, max, and remaining. Try to utilize the maximum amount of supplies in each mission, additional squaddies, squads, more equipment, more promotions, increase the supplies utilized number. The maximum is determined by the mission and will increase for later missions as your units establish a foothold. Awesome. So right now we've got time of day is day. Light snowfall, I can minimize it, awesome. Light snowfall, so I assume slightly reduced visibility and accuracy, but we probably don't have too much of a problem. We gotta reclaim the settlement, which is the buildings. Unknown allegiance, unknown entity, yes, so these are all unknown allegiance, unknown entity. These might be the buildings that I'm trying to capture. We shall see, this is my deployments. So we got a whole pocket of enemies potentially over here. Well, we have no indication of friendlies or neutrals, so I'm assuming everything is hostile. These are all hostile, and then we have some things in the back. So I probably want the bulk of my forces ready to receive them, with enough in the back so I don't get flanked and destroyed. I need to destroy most of them, and so if I can take out this guy in my spawn zone and everything on the right, I probably want to avoid as much combat as possible, because this mission isn't about taking them out, and we don't have any indication that we get rewards based on that, and losing squaddies is bad. Alright, we got all of that. Right now we've utilized 444. I assume if I take this down, yeah, so the carbine cost is not listed on it anywhere that I can see, but it's 7 each, and I go down all the way to just 1, which is unhappy. So it's 7 per. All of them are deployed. This looks like it's just 5 each. Alright, and then Rilla, if I try and add you to mission, I'm over by 109, and so I need to take that down. If I remove that, then it's just a flat 5, which is not really going to make a big difference. You're my weakest guy, and I think having the armored personnel carrier for some heavy equipment is going to be really helpful here. So I'm going to see if I can cheeky Nando's my way into having it by just having 6 people per squad. That's still a little bit rough. Lim is my worst, and so we'll chunk him down another, and then the 3 ammo packs can go, because this is not a mission where I'm actually that concerned about shooting at things, but it wants me to use the most. We'll find out if I made a terrible mistake not having enough bullets. But we got some smaller squads, but so Rewo's gonna have to do some heavy lifting with this machine gun. Alright, so this is Pike. Where? Ooh, I can only deploy in this zone. Can I deploy up here? Let's quickly double check the deployment zone. I guess we all deploy down here. Ooh. Yeah, I can't go anywhere up here. I read that wrong. Alright, so I want Rewa driving straight into the jaws of a lion. And I want you and you close up on her. And then Lim, you're the weakest. I'm probably going to put you in the APC and get you in there. Alright, let's kick it off.
SRU, Citron. Pausing rest and preparation.
Alright, claim settlement 10 out of 10. So I need to keep moving, but I'm not too stressed. Okay, I was right. These are buildings. We got a couple different buildings. So I kind of want to just push up with relative speed. You can rotate. You've got your machine gun, just absolutely waste people.
Orders.
You've got your carbine. I'm not sure the actual stats you get for being deployed, so we'll find that out more later.
Eyes open. What?
Can
Ready,
I
Major.
get you into the APC? Yeah! Alright, and then you probably just want to end your turn because being in the APC
What?
is good.
Orders.
And then,
Sir.
What?
the APC is our most tanky thing, but it also has our most flexibility. So we're gonna just kick things off by getting in there.
Acknowledged.
We know the enemies were fairly far away, so I'm pretty comfortable moving up a little bit. I really don't want to move much farther than this because, as you can see, I'll have 40 AP afterwards. And that's how much it takes to shoot. So if I see enemies when I take this move, I'll be able to fire at them and get some suppression down. Now I don't see anything, and I do kind of want to move, and I saw some initial positions, so we are going to just full send
there
and
could
trust
be-
in the armor of the APC if something does notice us.
Orders.
Awesome. Then everybody else just needs to double
Moving to
time it.
waypoint.
We gotta hustle because the APC is gonna be much faster than the rest of
Who,
us,
sir?
but I'm also not that worried about it because the APC is armored. So if we do find enemies, I'd much rather they fired at the APC rather than my squishy
What?
little people, because my squishy little people are squishy and little. Yeah, so I can't quite go all the way because it looks like I move a little bit faster on the dirt road than I do in the snow. I want to just scoot a little bit, so I'll have 2 shots available, but I don't expect to see anything. So the road makes us faster, we follow the road. And nothing. Alright, so we know there are enemies. They were deployed like over here. And so this is where I'm starting to be like, I don't really want to just go blitzing forward. And so I think I'm just gonna hang out here so my squads can catch up.
Xenos.
Oh! Ooh, stop that.
Eyes open.
Okay, so, yeah, you can't see very well. You took some fire, but, yeah, that was light weaponry, and you seem to be totally fine. We got something over there. I want to keep you as much in cover as I can on the approach, so that they don't get to shoot at me. So we're going to try and use these as line of sight blockers and get up in there.
Moving to waypoint.
Yeah, nice. We got a lot of obstacles
Sir.
with us in it. You are going to get covered.
Move out.
But you're probably out of range based on what I've seen so far, but being in cover is so much better than not. Ooh, and you can see over here that we need to destroy 6 enemies to get that. Charles is currently hanging out, and we're not quite close enough to deploy and shoot at something. Yeah, so leaving costs 30, and so we can leave, shoot, and then move. But right here is like 90, and so I don't want to do that yet.
What?
Alright, so we know that's there. It ended its turn there. If I move up to here, I can get probably a pretty nice shot on you, and I want
Armor detail on duty.
Alright,
Xenos!
what is this? Alien Stinger. I assume I got a nice close-up. Oh, they are buggy boys. Alright, small spider-like critter that fits a mix of acid saliva and fractured matter at its prey. Ooh, xenoglands. It's got 20 armor and 78 health, so it's, I think, compared to us, yeah, they are significantly better than us at not being shot. Plow through infantry blocking your way. Anyone not quick enough to jump out of the way is with serious danger of getting crushed. Ooh. That's really interesting. So I could just drive her through them if I wanted to. But I do have this big gun, and I kind of like the idea of blasting them with that. I would also like to see if I can rotate, potentially. What does this say? Rotate on the spot. So I can rotate towards them like that. Yeah, just facing for the vehicle seems to be a thing. And then I can blast them. Let's see what happens.
Orders?
Ooh, okay, so that thing took half its health, so we took out 3 of them. We got a little wavering pop-up, but there's a lot of friends over here. We've got Young Alien Warrior. A young alien warrior whose carapace is not yet fully hardened, still very dangerous if it gets close. Titan plates, razor claws, xenoglands. Okay, so a lot more armor and health, so this is going to be a very hard enemy to take out. Has the same ranged weapon as these guys do, but also has some armor and some melee stuff. Also less models. You can see there's only 3 of them where there were 6 in this guy. And then we got Alien Dragonfly, a small flying alien critter that developed its abdomen to shoot stingers at unsuspecting prey over medium distance. So xenoglands is the same as this, and so this just seems to be much faster with less health and less armor. Alright. Nice. Now I've got my various squads left. I can't move there and shoot. Can I move right here? Ooh, no, I cannot go around that. I'm gonna hope that I can use my own thing as cover and deploy limb right here. Yeah, I can shoot around my own thing, and I don't have enough to shoot twice, so I'm gonna try deploying to try and see what bonuses I get from that. Alright, my accuracy went up. That's very good. Ooh, here we go. Snowfall reduces vision range and protection by 1. Deploy 50% accuracy bonus, defense bonus, and damage reduction, and 1 concealment. Alright, so he is harder to kill and a little bit better at shooting. Nice, we have lots of good information here. Okay, so now we have good accuracy, fully armor penetration. We can't suppress them. Interesting. Maybe they just can't be suppressed, but let her rip. Nice, okay.
Impressive shooting, Marine.
Here we go. Ooh. That is longer
Hey, don't get
range
hit!
than I was expecting.
Eyes open.
How we doing? We took a little bit of damage, we got a little bit of suppression. But yeah, okay, so spitting at long range, not doing a lot to me.
Sir.
You can actually buff people. And I kind of want to get her up into it. Did you get shot at? You got shot at? Oh man, those things have long range. Okay. I'm going to move you up. And then we're going to give you
Ready on my
the
signal.
bonus. Oh, here come the big boys. How far can you go and attack? You can go very far.
Let's do this.
Okay, but you couldn't also attack. Nice. So if I go here, I in theory could shoot, or I could try and move out to there and get a shot on that. Do I have a sense of how far? Oh wow, what? Yeah, range 8. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm unused to ballistics-based games allowing you to shoot at sight range like most ballistic weapons can. I assume they just have less effectiveness. Can I move somewhere where I still have 60 action points? So if I go here, I can deploy and take a couple of long-range pot shots at the dragonfly, and I'm really curious to see how that works out. So we're gonna try it. I like being behind cover. Cover is good. We deploy, and then I should not. I can't hit it. Did I do math wrong? I did do math wrong. I guess we're firing at this guy. Interestingly enough, even his 30 armor is penned. My guess is we have 25 armor penetration, and so the first few shots won't full pen, but we'll break through it pretty quickly. So let's see how we do against the warrior. 210 health. He did not, in fact, fall over and die like I wanted. So again.
On target.
Okay, that did a little bit. Oh, there are a lot of them. Okay. Hide behind the APC. What? Okay, so yeah. We know that close range, you have a serious problem with hitting things. I could just ram you. How much damage does plow through do? It does 25 hit point damage. It only says it hits one element, and I'm kind of nervous about that. I don't love that. I also don't love how close he is to this, and oh, okay. There's no confirm on undeployment, so I am committed. There's no way we shoot this thing enough to kill it, so I'm gonna try and pull back into some cover and get away from that. 'Cause that's a lot of bug. I'm not sure how. Ooh. Okay.
We got
calm
multiple
down.
contacts, Major.
That hurt. We got no current damage. Is awesome. I didn't love that. These guys have pretty short range. I'm still not entirely convinced. But if I move any direction, I have to spend more than I can fire twice with. I don't love that. We're gonna try plow through because I'm curious to see what it does on a bunch of small enemies.
Kill them all.
Okay. That took out 5 of them. Ooh, these are different. Small white-green spiderlings dwelling underground. Highly territorial and aggressive towards any other species. Awesome. We could just plow right back through them, but I do think these guys need to be destroyed, so we're gonna open up on them. Yeah, see, this is why we bring a heavy machine gun. Not a heavy machine gun. On the move. What does on the move do? Oh. Okay, yeah, so you're incredibly easy to spot if you're moving. But so now he's fleeing. So I'm guessing on his next turn, he's just gonna run away, and that's great for us. We can potentially turn. I want to turn so my rear is not as exposed, because vehicles generally have weaker armor in the rear. So I'm going to do that. Ah!
Orders?
What just happened? Can I do you? Mouse over. You're wavering, and you have acid. I don't love that. And they seem to just jump on my my truck. I don't want. No. Still not in range for that. I'd really like to be able to shoot this guy, but
Sir.
It's gonna be real tough to do that. Oh my god, you can just use taking command every turn.
Ready on my signal.
We're gonna try that and just get him in there. Hopefully it doesn't do anything. Yes,
Let's do this.
It probably just moved into my range. Yeah, so we're just gonna unload at this thing. Yeah, that's so well within my range.
Contact!
Yeah, so that's just gonna lower their damage output. The morale in it doesn't seem to be wavering though, so it's taking shots like a champ. Very rude of me, don't like that. I'm gonna have to bring more ammo on her next time if I'm gonna be buffing her attack rate. And then there are a bunch of aliens we don't know where. It's round 5. I would like to keep this moving a little bit. And you did get shot at, so I'm going to ram what remains of this. Ooh, what is wavering? What does acid do? The acid burns the armor, damaging it by 10% of its current ability each turn for 2 turns. Awesome. Wavering. It has wavering morale. Actually reduced by 20%. AP reduced by 20%. Oh, okay, yeah, so morale is tough to lose. We're going to run through this guy, just try and get rid of him. And head towards where we're supposed to be.
Good God, can't stay here much longer.
Because I've gotten a little bit distracted. We're going to head towards our objective. Oh, no.
Orders.
Okay, we're good. This thing has moved already, and you're stuck in here, so I'm actually going to move you. This thing is going to breathe, but I would like to put some hurt on it. But I do need to actually get to where I'm supposed to be. And so maybe I just let it
Orders.
die, you know?
Orders.
We are going to move Lim up, but I want to try and do it in a way that doesn't expose him horribly.
Repositioning.
He's got pretty good health, and this is a very well-covered spot, so I'm going to break from my normal tactical understandings and just sprint him into it. Never punished. Oh, God! Okay, that's very close. So that we're going to want to put some hurt on to start up next turn.
Sir.
In pursuit of that, you're just going to hustle after him. Maybe the fleeing enemies go at the end of the turn, because it hasn't moved its fleeing
Let's do
unit
this.
yet. Yeah, so they totally go at the end of the turn, or it's just choosing not to use them. You, I want to put shots downrange. It's fleeing, but I do actually need to destroy their forces, so I am going to try and finish it.
That's it, Marine.
Alright.
I appreciate it.
Stood up. That one's running away. Is it going to recover in one turn, or is it just like... it's wavering now. Okay, so it's still unhappy, but it's not completely gone. You are a problem, but I aim at you. I have low accuracy because I'm too close. And so I can move and try and take shots, but I'd rather deploy for the buffs and just hammer you. Oh, yeah, low accuracy? I don't know about that. Awesome. So I broke it before it could do anything. This thing, I don't know what it's doing. That's fleeing, but a dead enemy is better than a fleeing enemy. If I can...
Orders.
Well, but you can just... and you did recover from your penalty. So I could move you here, just to get you in.
Sir.
I could also move Pike into this, and then run her in and deploy Pike in next turn. I think that's what I'm going to do. Get in there, Pike. Yeah. Can you not get in? I have error apparently. Won't let me get in. That's very awkward. I guess I'm ending my turn on. Maybe I need more points than I have to get in. Who knows? Oh my god, there's more of them! Okay, so you now have to retire that so that Pike doesn't get wiped off the face of the earth. Yeah, we need your big gun. Oh, I'm so glad I brought a big gun. Yeah, big gun, very good, but it did not make him scared. Yeah, so it is per thing she destroys. Awesome. That's gonna run away.
Let's do this.
It doesn't look like it came back. It looks like it was still fleeing. You probably need to help Pike because he's a little bit stressed. but I can get to
Hustle
here,
1/3.
which is a good amount of movement, and I can take some basic shots. Hopefully the big gun brings the armor enough that I can just... Yeah! Oh.
What?
Okay. That's gonna run away, and if it was a ranged enemy, I'd be more concerned, but melee enemies are not... He's got to spend his whole turn getting up to me. I really need to start capturing this. I don't know what round we're on. 7. Aha! I gotta stand up. And then we're gonna just run into the zone and try and get that capture started. Because we just need to do it. Okay, nice. We'll see that. We're on track for basically everything, so you're just gonna deploy right at the edge of that zone. He's gonna run away because him and his friends got absolutely annihilated.
Sir.
Can you take a shot at this thing? It can't take cover. Yeah, waste it. That was not wasting it. Alright, get in the truck. This time it worked. Yeah, okay, so you need some amount of AP to enter the truck. I'm not sure what it is. And then we can just end your turn. He's gonna push up. This is what I was talking about. Where this is a melee enemy, it's just not gonna get in range. And so we can just be like, goodbye. You can see, I think our armor's pretty banged up. Yeah, you can see down here. She has taken some hits, but that is her job.
Let's do this.
And then you might need a second shot on this guy. I don't think we need to deploy you. You've got pretty good accuracy, so we're just gonna... Yeah, just annihilate it. And I want to stay back here because I know there's some melee guys running around over here. And I don't want to get my soldiers
Xenos!
sliced in half. Ooh! We found frames! They are... so our truck just didn't see those. Or maybe they moved in just afterwards, but... Our problem is now we are in the wind, and so I gotta move into cover so I don't get shot at by these guys.
What?
Alright, so we got most of the area to ourselves. We just need to kill a couple more enemies.
Orders? Sir.
This thing is a melee enemy, and I don't think is near enough for you to be a huge threat, so we're gonna actually try
Orders?
and...
What?
Get a shot at you, yeah. Just to put some hurt down, and then we'll get into the zone.
Scattering.
Wow! Yeah. Big gun, good. And then I want to get you... Just
I
into
can
the zone.
kill from any.
You got issues, man. I'm terribly sorry. I think we saw something. That's why she stopped. No, she just... Oh, we just can't get in. That's very awkward. Okay, so we've got a little bit of... Sometimes it doesn't recognize distance as well. That might really affect our ability to finish this. Man, your accuracy is so good.
Yeah, you are really getting after them.
I need to move faster. I'm killing lots of them, and I'm not taking
Sir.
the point. Okay, so I can get diagonally out of this, and then I just want you, I want you in there. I don't know where the rest of the enemies are going to come from, and so I want to start moving you up towards the north to try and have cover from that. We don't see anything right now, so I'm, again, feeling like I could ignore my usual requirements. And then Lynn is deployed right here, and I kind of like that. That covers anything coming from behind. So we're going to just have him hang out for a bit.
What?
And we've basically killed everything, so I'm not stressing.
Orders, sir.
Can we get you into the zone? Okay, so we can't do that, but I can stand you up and run you that way to make room for her, I think.
What?
And I need one more Xenos kill, which means that you're
Engines
going to get in
engaged.
there. I'm still relatively confident in your ability to be a weapon platform. Oh, you can drive over the wall. Makes sense. And then I want to
Orders?
And then you can't make it in.
Sir.
But you could get
Orders?
your AP back, so we're just gonna run you as far as we can. I have no idea how we destroy 3 structures.
Who, sir?
Possible. Yeah, so now I can give you
Ready on my signal!
AP. I can move
Attention, moving
into
to cover.
a nice little corner, and I can deploy
Let's
you
do
to
this.
hold. You've got 40 AP now, which means you can actually get
Moving
into
to
the
cover.
zone. Which, yeah, should put us in the time
What?
frame we want. So at the end of this turn, we should succeed. I'm not sure where the remaining enemies are, so I'm gonna try and find them because I do need to like kill things, but I don't see that. So
I can't imagine they have much left in them.
Orders?
hopefully they're just like all running away. But
Taking cover.
where are the enemies? See, this is what I was worried about. Where now I'm caught between trying to complete it within 10 rounds.
Orders?
And actually
Sir.
killing all the enemies. I don't see anybody, so he's gonna give
Ready
points
on my
over you
signal.
and just hang out.
Let's do this.
Can you see anything? Ah, okay. We're gonna
Catching a
find
corner.
out if within 10 rounds is start of round or end of round. Yeah, okay.
All clear, Major. Send the boat.
Okay, so we have to select leave mission, but I can, it seems, like go hunting. But I don't have to leave the mission just yet. Yeah, and being able to get some shots on these guys and take them out will give me the last thing I need. Otherwise, that completes that, and if I hit leave mission now, I complete 4 out of 5, which is not what I wanted. I probably could have done this in 10 rounds, but I've been paying a little bit more attention. But I got 4 out of 5, which is going to give me that authority boost that I wanted. We got that settlement thing. We got plus 15 for the promotion points. So it's 3 points per objective, so it is actually a little bit of a pain if we didn't get it, but such is life. We got xenoglands, which is, yeah, just a 10 value item. Xenoglands harvested from local critters. The substance produced by it are sought after for chemical and medicinal laboratories. So this is just money, it looks like. And then, same thing, chitin plates. A collection of intact chitin plates used as a medical ingredient in the way back. So that gives us 55 like money, essentially, which I think is really interesting for balancing an economy. I'm also really curious if different factions will pay different amounts. But yeah, that's our first mission complete. We can see everyone's stats. Kill count 2. He received 2 points of damage. You can see everyone's different things. So yeah, Darby and Roa put in the work. Roa took a lot of damage. You can see the value. They don't really seem to get suppressed, these ones. Interesting. Alright. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next time with more Menace.